And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. And Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Corey Sandin in the mighty 1090 studios with Ali Hussainy from FishDope.com, BD Outdoors, and Local Knowledge. This guy has a lot going on in his life, and we're going to talk about lots of fishing, both coasts and right here in our own backyard. Stay tuned. Southern California's sport fishing voice is Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
For local and long-range fishing, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among seasoned or novice anglers. But Islander Charters is much more than great fishing. They also do incredible Guadalupe white shark diving trips as well as a schedule of kayak mothership trips. You need to check out the Islander on their website, islander-charters.com. The Islander is San Diego's leader when it comes to 2 to 5 day fishing. Watch the website for trips and adventures available. Experience the Islander difference. Visit islander-charters.com for all the details.
Hey, it's time for the 30-second Power Pro Seminar. Here's the hot tip for those of us that like to fish with small reels for big fish. Fill your spools with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro. That means you're going to get more line on that small reel. Plus, you can fly line your bait more effectively. Here's another tip about Power Pro Max Quattro. Your casting distance will increase in addition to increasing your spool capacity. So downsize your tackle and use Power Pro Max Quattro. Check PowerPro.com for more information.
There are plenty of boat slips and marinas in San Diego, but there is only one Kona Kai. It's not just a place to park your boat, it's a way of life here in America's finest city. Come check out what's new at the Kona Kai. 170 luxury guest rooms, including 41 brand new suites, featuring contemporary island-inspired decor, deep soaking tubs and oversized balconies. The Kona Kai Resort Spa and Marina has multiple swimming pools and a private beach, waterfront restaurants, and an award-winning spa, most of which is included for marina tenants. Add the Kona Kai Club to your membership and you have access to the new Paloma Pool Bar, a new and exclusive pool area for adults only, which allows guests to enjoy poolside craft cocktails and California coastal cuisine while overlooking your boat. In addition to all this, Kona Kai is the closest marina to the open ocean. Check resortkonakai.com on the web for more information, to reserve a slip or inquire about joining the club. The Kona Kai Resort, much more than just a place to park your boat.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090, and I'm just one of those days, Pete, where you're really pumped to be in studio. I'm stoked to be in here with you. And
stoked to have you, and it's been a little bit of time since you and I sat down at the mic here.
I guess it has. I didn't even think about it.
Good to have you, and great to have you back. Of course, Ricky's down at Lake El Salto with Steve Pinard from Dana Landing.
Remind me.
Probably cranking them right now.
Oh, are you kidding me? Top water action. And
oh, geez, all good. And Ali Hussainy from BD Outdoors, FishDope.com, Local Knowledge. What the heck else do you have going on?
I don't know, man. I just go where they tell me.
Yeah. You said probably people heard Seakeeper. Yeah, I love my Seakeeper. And now you have one, right?
Dude, blown away.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like you don't understand what a Seakeeper can do until you get on one and you turn it on.
Yeah, the first thing that we realized was, Rush spends a ton of time on a boat. I spend a lot of time on a boat.
Yeah.
You turn that thing on for the first time in rough weather, and we were stumbling around like drunks.
Yeah.
Because your body's used to leaning into the swell, and
Right.
you don't think about it, right? You catch it out of the corner of your eye, you feel it coming, you kind of lean with it. Well, now you don't have to do that anymore.
The boat just goes up and down.
The weirdest feeling ever.
Yeah.
But, your brain adjusts. Like after 30 minutes, I was okay-ish, and after an hour, I didn't even think about it. And then the next day we went out, we brought another crew with us, and they hadn't experienced it either. And it was funny watching them slide all around the boat, like you're on ice or something for the first half hour until your body figures it out.
And the technology just keeps getting better and better. That's the thing about it. Like you have the new Seakeeper 3 in yours, right?
I've got the 3, and I don't have a generator.
No generator.
No generator at all.
Really?
Yeah, all battery powered. And our boat has got the triple Evinrudes on it, and fortunately they put out they have a charging lead on the motor that puts out 25 amps.
Whoa.
So when you've got the 3 motors, you have 75 amps of power, which is a ton.
That's a lot of
You know,
power.
like your breaker in the kitchen is 30 amps. It's 120, but still it's a lot of power.
Yeah.
And we've just got these 3 big batteries up front. You plug it in at night, and it'll last all day and then some. I'm actually confident that we don't even need to plug it in. Like, we went to Baja for a week. I think that the engine would run the thing the whole time.
Because it's got such good...
so much charging, yeah.
What cool technology.
It's amazing
I thought it all had to have a generator and...
Yeah, no, I guess it starts at the 3 and then down, right? The 3 and the 2, you don't need a generator.
Yeah,
like
3
mine
and
is
2.
a 5.
Oh, you've got
and
a
then
5,
6,
okay.
yeah. But I have to have a generator running. But that's okay, it's a little bigger boat, but it was made for that. But the technology, I think, is coming where you're going to run... Like my boat's 36 feet. How big is the
34.
34.
Our new one, yeah.
Yeah, that's the CV.
Yep.
So, what a machine.
There's a reason I'm smiling, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that Andros was an awesome boat, is an awesome boat. I mean, ride, fuel efficiency, but the Andros is like a big skiff at 32 feet, and this is only a couple feet bigger, but you get on this thing, it is a very large boat. I mean, it's just awesome and so solid. Like, that was probably the biggest thing we noticed was the ride. I mean, it is not taking the punishment of the sea. It's giving it,
Center console.
Big center console.
Wow.
Yeah.
Riding with Dave Pfeiffer has one from Shimano there, and riding with him, the faster you went, the smoother it is, too, right?
So
Crazy.
Yeah. You get that thing up on plane, and it just, rides on top of the swell and the chop.
It does, for sure. Yeah, no, it's something you got to try.
So how fast you cruise?
Like, we were cruising, running around. I mean, it doesn't even sound real, but we're like in 4-footers, and we're running around 48 miles an hour.
Oh, crazy.
So
Triple
40 knots.
outboard.
Triple outboards, yeah. And it's jogging. I mean, it's not like it's working to go that speed. Every boat's kind of got a speed that it settles into. Every boat I've ever owned, like, some of them like to go 22 knots, and they'll just kind of find that speed. This thing likes to go 48. That's sort of its number. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Get there fast. Go to Clemente in hour and 10 minutes.
Like you read my mind. Yeah.
That'd
What
be
a
nice.
dream.
Yeah. A lot different than coming home at 22.
Is the boat going to be out here on the west?
It will be, yeah. As soon as the boat show's over, Miami Boat Show, it's gonna be in the Evinrude booth there, and we'll be there on the weekend for anybody who's listening out that way. If you guys want to come check it out, we're gonna shoot one more show in the Florida Keys, and then it'll get on a truck and be brought out here. So early March, we'll go chase some yellowtail in the flats.
Cool. Sounds great. Miami Boat Show starts next weekend?
I think it starts like Thursday.
Yeah.
Through Sunday.
That is the show of shows, right?
Man, if you like boats and fishing and you've never seen it, it's really worth making a trip for.
Yeah.
We don't have, Fred Hall's awesome. We all love going to Fred Hall and all that, but what is there, maybe 15, 20 boats at Fred Hall?
Yeah.
This is like, I'm guessing, but there's over 1,000 boats.
Well, for West Coast, the Fred Hall has a pretty extensive line of boats, right?
For sure.
It's got probably everything you need to look at, but
locally.
But maybe a few of each, right? A couple of each, or maybe one model or whatever. But the Miami Boat Show, I've seen pictures of it. The boat end of it is pretty darn deep.
It's everything from mega yachts to center consoles. Right?
Everything from little tiny flat skiffs, that are micro skiffs that call them, that are 15 feet long, to there's a dozen boats there with at least one helicopter on them. That kind of stuff.
That's crazy.
And it's split up good. The new venue they've actually moved the show to makes it a lot easier to get around. And aside from the boats, like if you want to go look at a Boston whaler, they've got 15 of them. Some of them out of the waters, you can crawl underneath them, do all that stuff, and then they have them in the water so you can drive them as well. So it's a really neat setup. And then in addition to all that, it's not just boats. There's tent after tent after tent of every marine manufacturer ever. The Simrads, the Garmins, the Raymarine, they're all there. And then the Miami Boat Show also has a lot of fishing So there'll be all the big tackle shops. We'll have these huge booths and all kinds of deals. Tackle manufacturers, rods, reels, some of the electric reel guys. So you can really, find out just about anything you want about any boat. And I mean, you drill it down from there to water makers and, anything that has to do with fishing or boating. Seakeepers, exactly. It's pretty cool.
How would you compare their tackle in to Long Beach? Because Long Beach Fred Hall is like enormous and really, if you're geeked out on it, it'll take you a couple of days really to go through it right. You know what I mean? So how do you compare that to...
I'd say the tackle side, Fred Hall wins, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, everybody comes out for Fred Hall from the tackle side, tackle side of the industry. Yeah. This is going to be like 80% boat accessories, maybe 20% tackle, 15. But it's so big that 15% is a lot of stuff,
Right.
So speaking of Fred Hall, you got, of course, BD Outdoors, fishdope.com will have a giant booth, right?
Yes, sir.
Smiling Michelle and the gang will be there.
Serving up hot T-shirts and smiles and free stickers, and just like we've been doing for so many years.
Talking about your show, Local Knowledge?
Yep. We're going to start the show, I think season 4 will start the first week of April. So we're getting pretty close. We've got a few good episodes already recorded. We did 2 down in Mag Bay. We hit that pretty...
Really?
We got some footage, man. It's going to blow your mind.
Is it inshore stuff, offshore? Because I know the Marlin offshore thing could be...
This time, that's what we focused on.
Okay.
Yeah. We did the Marlin and a little bit of Wahoo. We did do some bottom fishing. They've got some cool deep water groupers and stuff there that we caught. And then, of course, the Marlin. And, I mean, our guys... my guys are so young and talented and all that, and they captured some stuff there that you'll see on the show and leading up to it that I've only seen on Blue Planet. I mean, I'm not joking.
In the water stuff?
In the underwater, above the water, they have some footage of, like, sea lions and marlin herding bait balls with birds diving, and we've seen that kind of from the boat and even underwater. I've never seen it from a drone.
That's crazy.
A straight overhead of dogs and marlin, and this is not, 30 seconds of it. They've got minutes and minutes and minutes of it. Whoa. Crystal clear water. It looks like the marlin are floating in space, and the dogs, I'll show you guys off air a little snippet, but it's something to look forward to, man. When I saw it, my mind was blown.
You know what comes to mind when you say this is like a Bill Boyce picture coming alive.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So at Fred Hall, Long Beach, are you going to be showcasing some of the Local Knowledge shows?
Yeah, we'll have it playing up on the monitor. The one cool thing that we're doing this year is I got Rush coming out, and also our producer. Yeah. The whole time I'm walking around Fred Hall, I'll be like, oh, where's Rushy? Where's Rushy? And so finally, he'll get to see. In Florida, the shows aren't so concentrated. It's like we go to the boat show, and people are, hey, man, like your show and all that. It's really cool. We love that. We're working hard, putting a lot of time and blood, sweat, and tears into it. But then you go to Fred Hall, and it's just the reception that we get and people thanking us for, the show and all that kind of stuff. It's just awesome, and I really want them to see, how much people do dig the show and know who those guys are out here, and, it'll be a lot of fun.
Rush is a great guy, too. I fished with him before Local Knowledge ever came into being with the Shimano group down in Key West, and he's been a Florida Key West guide for how many years? Ever.
Since he was real, I think he got his first boat and started running it when he was like 20. And, he fishes
crazy.
250, 280 days a year, so,
And still does a show with you.
And does the show, and coaches Little League, and coaches football. That dude doesn't stop. He's in the gym in the mornings, like at 4:30, goes and runs a charter, doesn't even come home to change his clothes, stays down in Key West, goes and coaches baseball, and he gets home like at 8:30. I don't know how he does it.
That's how he's got all those big muscles.
Something like that, yeah. Well, you should see his kid. This kid is like, he is a star, man. He's breaking every record in Key West Little League and football, and Coach Rush is all about it. He's got his little coach's shorts and the whole thing.
Yeah, it's neat. So, of course, BD Outdoors, you guys still going strong, and every day new content, new information, and new activity happens, right?
Still doing our thing. The big push for us on the BD side this year is a lot more boating coverage. So I hired a guy to be our boating editor. His name's Lenny Rudo. I'm sure you've read his stuff over the years, Sport Fishing Magazine, a lot of the Bonnier publications, boats.com. The dude is awesome. He's got a great writing style that doesn't put you to sleep, and he's a fisherman, so you're getting the fishing boat review, not, a lot of that other stuff that guys like us don't care about. We want to know about live wells and cockpit, and we don't really care about a lot of the other details. He does a great job, and that's something we're really, really going to push. A lot more boating information, how-tos, boat reviews, power reviews, electronics, all that kind of stuff.
Neat. Speaking of electronics, I know you're a Simrad guy like myself. That new Simrad electronics are pretty it's pretty amazing
Oh,
stuff.
dude, you got to see this new stuff I got going, too.
Yeah?
Like, now my engines talk right to it. And you know, like, before you could get your RPM and stuff,
Right.
now it's like direct interface.
Wow.
Kind of like the Mercuries. I don't know if you've seen that with the Simrad. Now Evinrude is doing that as well, where I get, like, water, temperature. I mean, so much data. You don't even fuel burn, all this crazy stuff right there on my Simrad.
Wow.
And, you know, on the left of the screen where you've normally got, like, audio and autopilot, I've got another one now that says engines, and I can hit that. It's just another way the stuff is piped in. And they put, like, the down scan, side scan, you know, everything scan in that boat. I didn't really get a chance to get in there and play with it, but I got a bunch of brand new toys, especially for the inshore fishing. You know, that stuff's great.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, and to have that on a big old boat, you know, it's going to be kind of neat.
Does it have the new radar?
Still got the Halo
The
radar,
Halo,
the Halo
which is
4
pretty
foot.
amazing,
It works
yeah.
really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, really like that.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. And boy, this thing sounds decked to the hills, right?
Right.
Corey?
You
He's
know,
gonna have to take us fishing.
I like it. You know what's cool, Pete? I mean, to be sitting here with Ollie. I mean, this started right here in San Diego. This whole
Right.
thing that we're talking about. I mean, it's just grassroots guys that started their deal, and what it's grown into today. I can't. I'm
Yeah.
kind of, my mind's blown, really. You know.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, and plus too, the cool thing about local knowledge, Fish Dope, BD Outdoors, all the entities is they still root right here, and you guys are still warm and fuzzy about Southern California fishing.
Oh, that's never going to change.
Yeah.
You know, this is our backyard. I wake up every day so stoked to be able to go to work and do what I get to do. Jason feels the same way.
Yeah.
We always want to try to be the best at what we're doing, you know, and it's been a crazy ride. And it's funny, you turn around and 15 years is gone. What the
What?
hell happened to that, you know?
So tell us how Bloody Decks, BD Outdoors started. How did it all come together?
That was all Jason, man. Jason and I are long time, I don't have the time for it anymore, but computer nerds. And we played video games and all that stuff online in the early days of sort of the internet. And him and I both, you know, you want to learn about what you're really passionate about, fishing, you go online, you join the message boards, and there was no Facebook, there was no Twittergram, there was none of that stuff, you know. So we were on these old forums, All Coast, and then later on the Buddy Boaters here in San Diego. And just digging what we were doing, and guys acting like guys, and the guys that own those forums, how would I say this correctly? They had some other interests, business-wise or whatever, and they'd censor stuff. You know, like if you said one thing about somebody they didn't like, even if it was honest, you know, they would censor it, delete it, ban you, whatever, you know. And so finally, us and a bunch of our friends got banned for telling the truth, you know, what was going on there. And Jason took the initiative, man. He came up with the name. That was all Jason. I was trying to figure out what happened. Where'd everybody go? You know?
Yeah.
And Jason or somebody else was like, hey, everybody's on this new website, Bloody Decks. And I think I was member number 18 or 22 or something like that. I was late to the party.
Wow.
And, Jason had it kind of up and running, and he was doing the tech stuff, and we were literally running off of a server under one of Jason's friends' desks who worked at AT&T poaching their internet.
Wow. Crazy.
It's kind of a funny story.
Wow, 15 years ago.
We probably got 3 years or 4 years out of that box that was hidden underneath someone's
we
desk.
paying up to AT&T. It's worth it.
I'm
right?
okay.
Come back.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And, man, it just took off from there, and I think it was a good time for fishing. The albacore were back and biting, and everybody was really excited about it. And if you remember, that was like, we started in 03, but 04, 05, 06, everybody had that crazy home equity money and was buying Parkers and Sea Swirls, and we were smart enough to get it going, you know, early, and then it just took off from there. It exploded, and you know, we tried to, after a couple of years, we figured out, hey, this might be something we can turn into a job and do what we like to do, and Fish Dope came along, and that's really helped.
Now, when did Fish Dope come along?
Man, I want to say like maybe 09.
Yeah.
10, something
Been
like
that
that.
long. Oh, wow.
It has been a long
Like 10
time.
years.
Yeah, it's probably right at 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, we're terrible about that.
And how did you come up with Fish Dope?
That was funny. Jason and I, we've always been friends with like Jeff from Terrafin and all that, and we would find ourselves every day before we would go fish, we'd print out a Terrafin chart. I would call all my buddies, right? I'm on the phone, and okay, you caught what where? I'd mark it on the chart, make a little note. Okay, you mark it on the chart. Okay. And then I'd go like print out the tides, and I would tape them to this piece of paper, and that piece of paper really planned my day. I knew where the current breaks were. I knew where the fish were caught. I had all this extra info that maybe a lot of guys weren't putting the time in to get, and building that network. I mean, back in those days especially, you guys know, like, you had to talk to everybody because there was no internet again.
It was all about the network.
Yeah, there was no BD, there was no Fish Dope. You were on a cell phone maybe even a land phone there for a long time doing that stuff, And then we would take all that info, put it down on our Terrafin chart, and take that fishing with us. And Jason and I were sitting around, and I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way to do this, And so we started talking about it and figured it out. And in the early days, Jeff actually did our charts for us. And then, we knew a lot of people in the fishing community, and we were able to share that info, and it turned into a whole business.
And you're able to take Fish Dope today with that info and be able to track what happened a week ago, 3 days ago, yesterday, and semi-predict pretty accurately where it's going to happen today.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody knows that fish have fins and they like to move. And when you watch, that's why we keep 4 or 5 days of history up on Fish Dope. You see them march right up a current break.
Yeah.
The disappointing thing is it's a gimme society now. Most guys just want numbers. Give me the numbers. And then they're pissed when they didn't catch on those numbers from yesterday. Well, they could have moved 10 miles, 15 miles. But the savvy guys are getting the big picture and are kind of watching what the fish are doing. And more importantly, for offshore fishing, watch what the fish are doing in relation to the water. We'll see these pockets of really warm water that'll come off of a current edge and kind of spin off on their own. And when we see that, man, we're licking our chops, especially if it develops for a few days, because the fish are going to find it. The fish are going to be there, and it just, if you pay attention, you can be one of those guys that kind of sneaks away from the crowd and actually catches your own fish with nobody else in sight.
So how does Ollie and Jason, who write this stuff, how do they use Fish Dope? There's, of course, the general reports every day, which everybody reads, but there's so much deeper than that, right? How do you use Fish Dope?
If I'm going to use it to go on a trip, to me it's just one more tool. I'm not relying on it completely. Mm-hmm. I've still got, my network of buddies, and I've got, I'm using the SST maps. It's nice to know where fish were caught the day before, but I kind of want to figure out where they're going and hopefully be the first one to get out ahead of them, or one of the first guys out there.
Sure.
But for me, it's just, I like info, if it's my binoculars giving me that info, whether it's talking to somebody on the dock or Fish Dope, it's just another tool. The thing I really do like about Fish Dope is I'm busy and I'm traveling, I'm doing all this stuff. I can just flip my phone open in 1 second, kind of figure out what's going on at home, seeing kind of what the trends are, it's stuff like that. That to me, it keeps me in it even when I'm not fishing.
So what pages? So what are you looking at first? I know you're looking at the reports, but are you looking at the history page with the maps? And
SST map. Oh yeah, for sure. So read the report, kind of figure out what's going on, get the synopsis for where I'm going to fish, then look at the SSTs and see what the water's doing, and you can animate it on there, so it'll show you the direction the water's been moving. And
what does that show you? What is that when you watch the water move? What is that showing you?
It's just showing you that the breaks. Nothing on the ocean is stagnant. Everything's moving, as we know, all the time. And the fish are always going to be around the bait, and the bait is always either going to be around the structure or a temperature break. That's always. You know what I mean?
And the structure being like a high, seamount or a ridge.
302, 43.
Like the 9 Mile Bank is a ridge, and with that ridge comes upwelling, and with the upwelling comes food and
current breaks,
planktonic food, where the anchovy is able to feed on the plankton, and
that's where it all starts.
And then here come the tuna, and it kind of you're drawing up a picture for everybody with Fish Dope.
For sure. And the other thing following those currents that really, really is helpful is if you're kelp patty fishing. And we're offshore fishing, all of us, we're all kelp patty fishing, right? You're looking for one the whole time, but work those breaks. 2 rivers are coming together, just like you see 2 currents if you're trout fishing in a stream, and you'll have all the bark and crap in the river floating, making a whirlpool or whatever. It's the same thing on a much bigger level. So I'm always really aware of that, and I'm trying to work in and out of the current breaks, working both sides of them. The whole time I'm looking for kelps, and if I'm on the water running and I see a weird piece of water where I can visually see the 2 currents coming together, I'll follow it for miles just to see if I find anything, and
there might be something in there.
Yeah.
And the bait's attracted to that, too, because you've usually got a couple degree difference in water temperature.
Yep.
And with those breaks come, the planktonic food, and the anchovy is going to be much happier in 2 degree cooler water, and the game fish want that 2 degree warmer water, and they meet in the middle, literally, and it's
an incredible tool.
Magic
the whole
happens.
thing, and that's the point I want to make is I don't think, including myself, utilize all the different tools that are available on Fish Dope. It's not just a report. There's a bunch of tools that Jason and all the people that are associated with fishdope.com have put together. There's so many different tools you can use, and if you dig in depth, it can really help you catch fish.
Yeah, and we've got a new app that the boys have literally just submitted to Apple that's going to do, if you remember, we had an app about a year ago that got broke with that whole Apple kind of, hey, surprise, your stuff doesn't work anymore. Yeah. And at that point, instead of kind of Band-Aiding it, we ripped it all down to the brass tacks. I mean, there's really not much between the website and this new app that is the same as what you saw a year ago. And it's just about to hit the App Store, kind of a beta test thing. We want to get all the bugs out of it. But by Fred Hall, we're hoping to have a final or shortly thereafter.
Wow.
And it looks awesome. I mean, the features and all that stuff, you're not missing anything. The good thing when that all happened was we made the website so it was 100% mobile compatible. So you didn't have to have an app. You can go right to the website on your phone. It works great. But as you guys know, when you have an app, it's just more tailored for the phone environment, bigger icons, easier to click on, all that kind of stuff. And there is some functionality in there that you wouldn't get through the website as well. So Jason and Jeff, those guys have been grinding on that forever.
And that's going to be part of the Fish Dope membership.
All included in the subscription.
Wow.
All included.
Fantastic. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you. A lot to talk about with Ali. Fish Dope. We haven't even investigated all the great stuff that Local Knowledge is doing, too. So.
Craziness, really. Yeah. I mean, we have a full, exciting morning ahead of us, and we'd like for you to join us. Give us a shout at 877-792-1090 or 858-457-1090. And join us for the show this morning. Talk to Ollie, ask a question about Bloody Decks, about BD Outdoors, about the Local Knowledge. So much information in studio today, whether you're an inshore guy or offshore or want to know more about this app coming at Fred Hall, Long Beach. It's only a few weeks away, Ollie.
Man,
crazy, isn't it?
It's so weird.
It's right around the corner.
It is right around the corner. It's full speed Fred Hall, and I know Mike and Bart are working hard and the rest of the crew. You want to join us this morning? We're giving away a full-day trip on the Liberty out of Fisherman's Landing. How does it get any better? Join us.
And they're going to be ready to go like beginning of March. The new galley that they're putting together, they're doing some great stuff on the Liberty.
I talked to Taro. He's working hard on that, man.
Boy,
it's good times. Join us in studio. We're going to be right back on Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Rock Cod Rick here for West Coast Marine and Parker Boats. You see them all over Southern California waters. Parker Boats at the launch ramp, the offshore islands. You wake up in the morning on an overnight trip and there they are. Parker Boats of all size fishing in the same area as the sporties. There's a good reason for it. Fishability and seaworthiness. Of all the boats out there, my boat partner and I chose to get a brand new 25 Parker center console from Kevin Kelly and the gang at West Coast Marine, and I could not be happier. Wow, what a fishing machine. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty, industrial-strength boat, probably overbuilt, but that's why so many 4- and 6-pack charters choose to operate Parkers. We thank the guys at Pinnacle Sport Fishing, Season Sport Fishing, One-Man Charters, Black and Blue Sport Fishing for their confidence in Parker boats. Take it from me, if you are ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, and honest deal, you need to see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check out their inventory and information at westcoastmarine.com.
Sport fishing, not just for dad anymore. At Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, kids fish free every Sunday. Free half-day fishing trip and clinic free for kids 12 and under every Sunday at Dana Wharf. Join the Dana Wharf Kids Club and get over $100 of really cool stuff like 2 free fishing trips, a free whale watch trip, and more. Dana Wharf, everyone's favorite since 1971. Click DanaWharf.com or visit them in the Dana Point Harbor, the bass capital of the West, and only minutes from the 5 freeway in Orange County. DanaWharf.com, where kids fish free.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now 19 stores and more to come throughout Southern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more. One of the dream trips for most anglers is Alaska. There are so many lodges. How do you make a choice? It's easy. Choose the one most Let's Talk Hookup listeners return to time after time. Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, and the finest charter captains in Sitka. All for the ultimate value. One visit and you will understand why nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. Sitka is famous for some of the best runs of salmon in Alaska. And if giant Alaskan halibut is your target, the expert captains at Kingfisher Charters know the hot spots and can put you on a fish of a lifetime. Plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod are there too. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. It's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except tips. It is truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego's sports leader.
The home of ESPN Radio.
The mighty 1090.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. And like I said, we're giving away a full-day trip on the Liberty out of Fisherman's Landing. Ali just upped the ante.
How about that?
I love it, man. This individual who's going to win the trip on the Liberty out of Fisherman's Landing is also going to win a one-year subscription to Fish Dope.
Wow. So that's like a $250 prize, almost $300 prize right there.
Gotta
one
like
lucky
it.
caller. Nice. FishDope.com. $169 annual membership. It's probably the best money you ever invest, but you get $20 off on a new membership using our code that's Hookup Now. A lot of people have taken advantage of that.
Yeah, we see a lot of that stuff. It's
good
awesome
stuff.
getting you guys on the team.
Absolutely. And once they go,
they're hooked.
They're there forever.
We don't lose very many members at all.
No, it's a good one for sure. Well, 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. Let's jump on the phones, Corey.
Let's do it. Let's talk to Danny. Danny's calling from Chula Vista. Welcome to the show this morning, Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, good morning, guys. I had a question about one of the charts. You have the hot bite icons, but you also have the bite zone. Can you elaborate how to use that? And second, I wanted to ask about the mobile app. Would I be able to download charts and view them while on the water?
Yeah, so for your first question, the bite zone map is it's a little different. It's a little hard to get your head around, but once you understand, it's a very powerful tool. But what we basically do with that is we track where there is the most current activity happening on a current line. So in other words, you might have a current break if you look at an SST map that's 200 miles long, and it moves in, out, softens, weakens, whatever, but there are going to be certain parts, for whatever reason, the current's going that way, structures influencing it, where the current is really coming together harder. And that's what that's illustrating. So if I'm going out and to say there's we get in the middle of summertime, the water off of our coast gets pretty generic. Everything is nice and warm and clean and all that. There's subtle differences, and subtle breaks. So what I would use that for is to find, put my game plan together, looking at those currents, and then I would go to the bite zone map and I would see where that current is really moving and pushing harder. And I probably would make sure that I hit those couple of spots on my daily, route.
So that's different than the regular chart.
It is. It shows it really is designed to show where the water is moving the most and coming together the most. So it's those are the spots where you're going to hopefully have more bait pushed together, more kelp patties combined.
Interesting. So it might be where the current breaks maybe relate more to the 43 or relate more to a high spot, or
it could be, it could be the structures affecting it. It could be the angles of the current and where they're meeting, but it's almost like having a whirlpool within the river. It's the hot spot within the river of currents going on. And it's not always right, but there's a lot of times where, you'll kind of roll through that zone, and now you start to see a little bit more bird life and a little bit more stuff in the water, whether it's flotsam or kelp or, whatever, and those are the areas that I want to concentrate on.
It's crazy, Ollie. When you think of what it costs to fuel a boat up, right?
You got to have it, man.
I'm going with this. To fuel a boat up and go out fishing for a day. I mean, let's say you're a hardworking guy and you have one day that you're going to be able to go out for the next week and a half, and it's offshore season, and the Dorado are biting, or, let's go far-fetched even more than that, the albacore are biting,
Yeah.
And you've got one day off, and you've got to make it all happen. You're fueling your boat up. How do you not fuel up your knowledge,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you
not? That's a good way to put it.
No, that's the idea. Not everybody's on the water every day, and it does give you a good head start. And then I think your other question was, with the new app, will you be able to use the maps offline? Absolutely. I mean, that's a huge feature.
Okay.
So as long as you Yeah, you take them with you on your phone or your pad or iPad or whatever, but as long as you log on.
A lot like Terrafin does, where you can download that.
Exactly. Yeah. Just make sure you do it before you leave the beach, because once you don't have service, you can't download the stuff. And it'll show you your boat's location on the image, so you can see yourself driving closer to a temperature break. You can plan your route. You can do all that stuff still and have it right in the palm of your hands.
What a great idea. Hey, Randy, good questions. Thanks for getting us started. Appreciate the call this morning. You know, we mentioned your partner, Jason, of course, the brains behind a lot of this stuff. But there's a couple guys behind the scenes, Danny and Jeff, that put a lot of time and effort into Fish Dope and all that good information there, right?
Yep, those guys are beating it up every single day. You know, Jeff's been focusing a lot more on the development side of the new interface as far as the web goes, and also the app. And Danny does the lion's share of the reporting right now.
Day stuff.
And it's a full-time job. Those guys are.
You wouldn't want to have that job. That's a big job.
I mean, they're on the phone constantly. You know, they're online digging out whatever info they can from the forums. They're using every resource they can, to get you guys the latest and greatest information.
Yeah.
It's craziness.
It's good stuff, for sure. Except they're not telling you where Corey's calico fishing, though.
Right.
Only get that, right?
Exactly.
If we could just get that information.
That's actually simpler than you think. It's closer to home than you'd imagine.
There's no doubt about it. Hey, let's go ahead and jump back in the phones, Corey.
Let's do it. Let's talk to Colin. Colin's calling from Fullerton. Welcome to the show this morning, Colin.
Hey, good morning, guys. Corey, Pete, Ali, how you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
Great,
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, first of all, I just wanted to say a big thank you to Ali and all the BD crew for those of us who didn't necessarily grow up on the water but are passionate about the sport. It's been a great tool and a good medium for all the knowledge.
That's awesome, man. You're very welcome. That's a big part of what we want to do is just promote fishing. Get, anything that has to do with kids or women fishing or military. Like, we want to keep as many people stoked on fishing in our backyard here as we possibly can and catching fish.
Yes.
You know?
That's part of our job,
Absolutely,
right?
Guys.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Hey, and my question is, recently sold our boat, and I'm wondering the best way to now utilize this tool for the sport fishing, like the sporty guys, for those of us who are out of the private boat game and now want to utilize this tool going out on the sport boats.
Yeah, man, I think it's still a very, very good tool for guys that are sport boat guys. If nothing else, I mean, I know a lot of the sport boat guys are watching the fish counts like a hawk. I think this will help you kind of understand as those fish are coming into, we'll post up when we hear about the bluefin at 200 miles. Well, you're not going to get that on an overnight, right? Yeah. But you might kind of watch them come up to, whoa, now this week they're at 150. Now this week they're at 100. Okay, now I'm in overnight range. And, help you know when to jump on a boat and also just give you an idea of what's going on. You might be a San Diego guy that's never caught a white sea bass. The sea bass are snapping up in Catalina. It's time to drive up the beach there and go see our friends out of Dana or Newport or something like that. It just, for our whole bite from, Point Conception all the way down to San Martin, it'll kind of keep you in the loop there, and you'll know where and when to strike.
That's a good point, yeah. And so if you don't have your own boat, you ride the sport boats, you can really be aware of where it goes rather than just randomly jumping on a boat and going.
And hoping.
And hoping.
Or better yet, if you're fishing with a buddy, Colin, and having the Fish Dope deal and having all that information and sharing it with your buddy that you're going on the boat with, or better yet, kind of gifting that as, you can gift a subscription for, hey, thanks for taking me fishing, going a few times a year with your buddy.
We get a bunch of guys at the show, and it cracks us up. It's like, hey, my buddy's got the boat. I supply the dope, and that's a good way to get invited back.
Right?
If you don't have your own boat, you're riding with other guys, you better learn to make really good sandwiches, bring lots of cold beer, and maybe have a little bit of fish dope, and you'll be the first guy on the list when it's time to go fish.
And lots of fuel money.
Yeah, exactly. It's always about gas money.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks a lot for the good question there. Thanks a lot for the call. That does free up. 858-457-1090. It's going to be a busy morning. You want to get through. There's your chance. Before we jump back into the phones, I want to talk about you've, of course, producing Local Knowledge, the TV show, which tell us where those who haven't seen Local Knowledge, a great show for both Florida as well as here and the other travel stuff. Where do we see Local Knowledge?
We're on Discovery Channel, and we run basically in April through October. Mm-hmm. That's when the new episodes are running. And then the cool thing about Local Knowledge with us being internet guys is you can watch it for free, every single episode on YouTube the day it's released.
Wow.
Cool.
And also we've designed a suite of apps. So you can go into any app store, your favorite device, from your Samsung TV to your Amazon Fire, to your Apple TV, to your phone, your tablet, whatever, and just search local knowledge. And we have these custom apps that are really slick, and you can watch it right there on your phone.
On your app.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that while I'm traveling. I have the local knowledge app on my phone. It's like, hey, I missed that episode. Let's go check that out.
That's awesome, man. And it'll even tell you once you subscribe, it'll tell you, hey, we've just released new episodes or whatever. So, and it's funny as the show gets more popular, we see the YouTube traffic. It just keeps growing and growing.
That's cool.
Catch an episode here. Oh, I want to go see another one, or I didn't get the end of it, and it's been really cool to watch it grow.
And I would assume with that you can also go back and see previous years.
You see every episode we've ever done is on there. Every promo video we've ever done. Sometimes we do little short films and stuff. It's all on there. It's all for free, 24/7 on demand, and also on Amazon Prime too.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's great stuff.
We make it easy.
So, doing all this fishing that you've done in Florida Keys as well as doing fishing out here with Rush, contrast the two fisheries. What's it like to you back there? I mean, are you like ready to move to Florida and just put down roots there, or are you just like Southern California brown?
I will tell you, man, from what I've seen, and it's not. I haven't just been fishing Florida since the show. Our artist Derek Redwine, he's in Port Canaveral, Florida, which is another sort of hub of fishing over there. So I've been fishing there for a good 10, 15 years. I will have a residency in Florida at some point. It's just, I tell people this all the time. We've got the weather and the bait, and they have got the fishing. Their fishing is better than ours, in my opinion, and you'd be hard-pressed to argue.
Variety of species?
Variety, seasonality, right? Stuff gets slow here in the wintertime. We all know that. You know, your calicos aren't biting like they were. The yellowtail get spotty and all that stuff. They have a fish for every season. And if it's windy, they have places you can go hide and still catch fish if the weather's up.
That's the issue, though, is the wind.
The wind
all the time.
The wind there blows, and that's the downside. You know, they've got a lot of wind. During the summer, it's really hot. You know, and actually during their summer, the water gets so warm in a lot of places, the fishing really slows down. But you can go catch a swordfish any day of the year.
Wow,
that's crazy.
You can go find a 30, 50-pound amberjack anytime. You know, for the most part, fishing's fishing, right?
Sure.
But they have wahoo. You know, they have all these fish that we've never seen out here, kingfish, and I'm sure a big part of it is being different. But there's still never going to be anything to replace my backyard and catching a yellowtail on a surface iron. But the availability of the fish, you know, I love to catch grouper. They have grouper on tap all year round.
And the grouper things, and that kind of stuff's kind of close to shore. But what about, like, you're talking about wahoo and the king mackerel?
Yeah.
The runs are typically shorter, man. I mean, you can catch a wahoo. I mean, 10 miles offshore.
You're kidding me.
Sometimes closer. You know, they don't run like we run typically.
That's crazy. They
have a lot of options. You know, down in Key West, the reef is kind of where everything starts, and in most places that reef is 6, 8, 10 miles offshore. Yeah. And if you start chumming on that reef, that's the other thing that blows my mind about fishing back there. There is so much fish that, like, when we tuna fish here, we go look for the tuna, right? Well, they kind of go to where the tuna were the day before, and they start chumming, and the tuna show up.
They just show up.
Just shows up. It blows my mind.
Because they're along the reef.
Yeah, and we'll be sitting there catching groupers and snappers, and a sailfish will swim to the side of the boat. A wahoo will swim. What the hell? We don't have this. It's like, I feel like we're working a lot harder. You know, when our fishing's on during the summer and whatnot, there's nothing better.
No.
I mean, it is the availability of it's so close. I mean, we catch tuna at 10 miles a lot of times. The last 4 or 5 years, I mean, we're catching cow tuna, which for me, that's what gets me going, you know, the variety and all that. But, you know, when spring and fall kind of fades away, it gets tough. And fortunately for me, when our season turns off, their season turns on.
Yeah.
You know, their season starts November, December, and is really the height of it runs all the way through like March, April.
And you haven't mentioned their inshore. I mean, the redfish and the sea trout and the the cool mangrove snappers and I've never caught any of that. The snook and all that.
Really, you've never, dude, for a bass guy,
I've been told.
It will blow you. I know Pete's done a good bit of that. I mean, I don't even know.
I haven't done the snook thing, though, but that looks cool. I remember when I was diving, loved scuba diving down in the Florida Keys.
Another
my
big
brother-in-law. Incredible. We go to Marathon every year, and I remember seeing a giant school of these huge snook underwater. You can't spear them. I had a spear in my hand, and my brother-in-law was going, no, you can't spear. You're not allowed to shoot them because they're like sitting ducks, I guess. But these are all big snook. I was thinking, God, I'd love to catch one of those on a rod.
And permit and tarpon.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much variety. And I think also when it's all new to you, you know, being a West Coast fishing geek, you get back there and, your hit list all of a sudden is like you've got 20 more fish you want to catch.
Yeah.
Time to go target them and learn how to catch.
Sure.
For me, that's a big thing. I like to learn new ways to fish and try and reapply it in other places. And one of the coolest things we did on the show was, I think, in our first season, trying to fish surface iron in Florida. Hey, guess what? It works.
It works?
Oh, first cast.
I bet you, you take our local fishing, and it could be a challenge. It could be, you've got to be just a step better than the guy behind you and a step better than the guy behind him. And, you've got to be so darn good here, even on a sport boat, with a captain putting you on him, that you become pretty darn seasoned here in Southern California. You learn how to fly line a bait on 20-pound and make the bite happen, and then get the fish for the boat, right? But you take that back east.
It is harder to get a bite here generally, so you apply that there. And there's, growing up here, I always thought, and I think this is a very common perception of fishermen in Southern California, thinking the guys in Florida are all wearing Columbia shirts and they're smoking cigars and casting fly rods. That's not the reality. No. The reality is there's a lot of very, very, very good fishermen back there. And they do things very different than we do, but they are on it. A lot of days on the water, a lot of experience. Fishing there in South Florida, it's their culture.
It's a way of life.
There's so much water and so many boats.
That's the other thing, too, is a lot of pressure.
There is a lot of pressure for sure, but there's a lot of room to run out there, too. You go up in the Gulf, there's a lot of space.
Hey, we've got a lot to talk about on the show today. Surface iron fishing in Florida, I want to hear more about it. We're going to hear more about it from Ali when we come back on Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
When bad weather and rough seas send other boats back to the dock, Seakeeper allows you to fish longer and fish harder, even in the roughest conditions. Don't believe it? Just ask those that have put them on their boat, like Captain Pete Grosbeck and other professionals. Fishing in the trough with Seakeeper basically eliminates the trough. Seakeeper's newest offering, the Seakeeper 3, is optimized to eliminate up to 95% of boat roll on boats between 30 and 39 feet. Even better, this gyro is so small it can fit inside a customized leaning post and operate on your current battery system, making installation fast and easy. Watch for new product coming soon. The Seakeeper for boats. Think about it. Eliminate up to 95% of boat roll on your boat. That is amazing. To learn more about how Seakeeper can change your life on the water and to schedule your free demo, go to Seakeeper.com. Take a ride, be amazed. Seakeeper.
Let's talk candidly about long-range fishing. This is Captain Frank Lepresti of the Royal Polaris and the Shogun. Nowhere on Earth will you find a fleet of long-range boats like we have in San Diego. We are fortunate to have several top-notch operations to take you to the most productive fishing grounds in the world. We all offer good food, comfortable staterooms, huge bait capacity, and top-of-the-line fish-finding electronics. So why would you choose the Royal Polaris or the Shogun for your next long-range trip? What sets us apart from the rest? It's pretty simple. The boats, the crew, and the service. From the moment you arrive at Fisherman's Landing, the service begins. We help you load your gear and do everything possible to get beginners or seasoned veterans ready to catch fish. When it's time to fish, the Royal Polaris and the Shogun have the edge there too, delivering the two best fishing platforms in the fleet. But don't take my word for it. Come fishing with us. If you want the best, it's Royal Polaris and the Shogun. For more information, call 619-226-8030 or on the web at royalpolarissportfishing.com or shogunsportfishing.com.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
The main emphasis on the ranch, we're going to keep it old style. We're not going to change anything. We're just going to improve what we have. The kitchen is brand new kitchen this year with all new kitchen equipment, new stoves, ovens. We put a new freezer in. We've put in all brand new split air conditioners with thermostats to make sure every room is cold. We've also worked on the boat fleet with a couple large lures, a 31 and a 34. We've got the largest Super Ponga fleet on the East Cape, all with brand new Yamaha motors. Brand new beds. We've got all Serta beds, the best beds in Baja, I kid you not. We're working all the time at the ranch. We're not changing it, just making it a lot better. That's why we get the high TripAdvisor reviews. It's my responsibility. I got to take care of you. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero. RanchoLeonero.com. Our new reservation phone number is 800-646-2252, 646-BAJA.
Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home. With an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs, your bait swims harder and longer. And when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Check gamakatsu.com.
My fridge.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. We've got Ollie in studio, and if you want to join us, we're giving away a full-day trip on the Liberty out of Fisherman's Landing, along with a Fish Dope 1-year subscription.
How about that for a prize?
Does it get any better? Give us a call, 877-792-1090 or 858-457-1090.
Indeed. Time for the Catch Report, sponsored in part by Blue Guard Innovations, making smart bilge pump switches and sensors designed to protect you, your vessel, and the environment. If your boat lives in the water like mine does, and you have not installed the BG1 oil and fuel detector, you could be risking thousands in fines. The BG1 will detect oil in your bilge before it dumps into the water. It's happened to me. I have one in my boat. I wouldn't have it without it. Just one of several switches and sensors made by Blue Guard Innovations. Check bluebgi.com for their affordable products, and check them out at Wilson Marine in San Diego, and also they have them at San Diego Marine Exchange. Let's start up at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Captain Brian Woolley's on the line. Good morning, Captain.
Hey, good morning, guys. What's happening there? Good morning, Ollie.
What's up, Woolley?
Finally getting some decent weather, huh?
Oh, man, I know. Looking at the weather reports, like, it's been giving me anxiety looking at it, you know? It's like, gosh, is it going to be wet or is it going to blow? Yeah, I just decided not to look at it and just figure it out from there, you know? Anyways, we're coming off another good week here. The last few weeks, gosh, they've all been really similar for us. You know, our 3/4-day trips, we're still catching on that sculpin. Gosh, it's been super consistent. So, you know, we've been fishing, and, you know, honestly, let's face it, those things are not bad to eat. You know, they're super good to eat. So, you know, it's been good, and they're not hard to catch, and it's been nice to have some fish to work with you know, the seasonal closures and stuff like that. So we've been getting on that pretty good on our 3/4-day trips, getting down there in the morning, getting anchored up, catching on that. And again, the artificial stuff, gosh, Corey, that Viejos swim bait fished on a lead head has been lights out with these sculpin. Some guys catching them on that Lucanus jig too, but, you know, kind of what we've been doing, and then we've been sliding to the inside as time kind of permits on those 3/4-day trips, fishing some bass in the afternoon and catching a little bit of that. The sun's been out, warms the water up a little bit, and we're still seeing 60-degree watering on the beach, which is, you know, great to see this time of year. So a little bit of action on the calico bass there on the fly line sardine. On our half-day stuff, fishing bass and sculpin too. Some good bass action on the bottom and some of the deeper spots out to 90 feet, 100 feet like that on some of the pipes and stuff like that. Dropper loop squid, rubber lures, fish down there on the bottom, things like that, catching a little bit as well. So that's kind of been it on the half-day scene. And on our halibut deal, nothing really new to report with that. You know, still that 25-pounder sitting at the top. I know the sun fun's out today, drifting, see if they can get a few fish rolling on that whole deal. It's kind of perk it up a tiny bit. You know, February has been a little tricky time, or even, you know, towards the end of January, a little bit slow on the halibut front. So trying to get that rolling again as well. So that's what we got going here. You guys want to hop on a trip, certainly call and make a reservation. Our phone number is 949-496-5794. Of course, you can check us out on the web at danawharf.com and link us there through the Let's Talk Hookup webpage. That'll take you to our online booking, and you can use the code DW25, and that'll save you 25% on either a half or a 3/4-day trip if you guys want to come fishing.
Incredible deal. DW25, 25% off, just right on the front page of our website, letstalkhookup.com. Click on that Dana Wharf's banner. Go get a deal on a half or 3/4 local trip. Unbelievable. Thanks a lot, Captain Brian Woolley, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
All right, guys. Good stuff this morning.
All right, yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, always good stuff from Brian Woolley at Dana Wharf. And now to Gundy Gunderson, the surf guru, my favorite report of the week. Gundy?
Hey, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.
What's up, Gundy?
Well, you know, kind of a funky thing for the surf guy with all the weather and everything. But, you know, remarkably, there was some excellent catches made this week. And I always talk about this, but the water tends to clean up much quicker on those northern beaches, Santa Barbara, Oxnard, Ventura. You know, in the urban areas like South Bay, Long Beach, Orange County, that kind of deal, you know, it takes a little longer. So a lot more streaky water down there. The guys went into the bay there. But starting up north, hook, line, sinker there reported cleaned up water at Goleta, and the barred perch were biting there. Pound-and-a-half fish taking the grubs. A 4-foot leopard shark was reported taken off the pier, and a legal white sea bass was taken on a jerkbait there off East Beach. And the guy said that, where you find that clean water, those fish are holding, and with the storms, they're biting. With all these storms, they got to find these windows of biting too. So, and that's the case with our next report here, the Uptown Derby. 40-degree water, 40-degree air temperature. It was raining. They weren't even sure if they were going to hold this derby. The guys got it together, and they found some rough water, dirty water, had to hit a few beaches, but they found a stretch below Magoo that was clean and calm, and using a combination of lugworms, shrimp, flash minnows. The group scored several barred perch in the 2-pound class. 2-pound, 8-ounce fish took the top honors on a piece of fresh shrimp. Other notables, they had a 2.5, 2.4, 2.2, 2.1, 1.9, 1.7. Those are really nice perch. And, with the conditions, you don't always think that might be possible. That's why you just got to get out there sometimes. They also said several fish were ripe, indicating that we're seeing the beginning of the spawn, and that's another encouraging thing. 10-pound halibut taken near the shop there. And like I said, L.A. Harbor, Alamitos Bay, Dana Point Harbor, the guys were scratching the sand bass and stuff. And we did have a 26-inch halibut taken there. The guys off Pacific Coast had it on the beach at Ponto. But for the most part, that barred perch bite is really nice up there, and that'd be a good road trip, you know what I mean, if you want to go see some different water, and you get up there at those tackle shops and ask them where they're biting.
Heck yeah, man.
That's some nice perch, 2-pound, 8-ounce. I think we might see a 3 in the next few weeks, Pete. I'm calling it.
That's good. All right.
That's a jumbo for sure.
Just that time of the year, right, Gundy?
That is. It's that Del Marsh time of the year.
Yeah, all right. Well, cool. Well, hey, Gundy Gunderson, Surf Guru Extraordinaire, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. And nice article in the Western Outdoor News, as usual. You're keeping tabs of things going on there, and we'll talk to you.
I actually got one coming out pretty quick here on just the basic reel maintenance. We talked about it a few weeks, but just kind of help the guys keep their gear in order throughout the season.
Indeed. All right. Well, thanks a lot for that, Gundy. We'll talk to you next week.
Great show, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right. That is our catch report today. And, hey, check it out. Bill Varney, Westboro, and some guy named Corey Sandin. Oh, that's you right there. Going to be hosting a surf fishing seminar and raffle at the Fred Hall Long Beach Show. Bill and Corey are the experts in Southern California surf and bay fishing, and Cabo San Lucas guide Wesley Burrow will discuss how to target and catch huge fish in the surf. Tickets are limited and are just $30 to benefit CCA. I'm telling you, this thing always sells out every year, right, Corey?
I did this last year, and let me tell you, it is an absolute fun time. It's a lot of information shared, a lot of giveaways, and incredible. It's your entry to the show.
Yep.
And
you get into the show for free. Your $30 includes the entry into the show.
It does, absolutely. And not only Bill Varney, myself, fun information. I love fishing halibut. That's one of my absolute favorite things in the surf. Yeah. But this guy, Wes, from Cabo, grew up in Cabo. His parents were missionary and mission, growing up there. And he was born and raised in Cabo San Lucas. He is an absolute phenomenal guy, the most kind guy you'll ever meet in the world, and has the surf fishing pictures of a lifetime.
Yeah. Giant roosters, pargo,
crazy,
all kinds of stuff in the surf there.
This guy should be the pinnacle of the seminar, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, it's going to be sorry. So if you want tickets, I'm telling you, it always sells out, and it sells out quickly. Go to fredhall.com and click on Long Beach and learn more about how you can buy those tickets to the event there at Long Beach Show. All right.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to have more from Ollie, more from BD Outdoors. We're going to learn more. I want to hear more about the surface iron stuff in Florida.
Yeah.
We're going to be right back. Yeah, exactly. Right back on Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Alaska's Katmai Lodge is a world-class wilderness fishing paradise on the banks of the famed Alagnak River. You'll fish for all 5 species of Pacific salmon, king, sockeye, chum, coho, and on even years, pinks, plus trophy-sized rainbow trout, Arctic grayling, and Dolly Varden, both in the Alagnak and the nearby waters. Katmai Lodge's U.S. Coast Guard and CPR certified guides are fishing fanatics and know how to help you reel them in. They are exceptional teachers and ensure you have days that that are fish-filled and fun with freshly prepared snacks and barbecued lunches on the river. Back at the lodge, there are fireside appetizers and refreshments each afternoon, as well as fresh, delicious meals prepared by their exceptional chef. Elevate your visit with a quick fly-out trip to Brooks Falls in Katmai National Park for world-renowned bear watching. For the best fishing adventure ever, visit katmai.com. That's KATMAI.com.
When you put on a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses, the world begins to look different. Colors are more vivid. Contrast is clearer. Details are crisper. Wherever your vision leads you, beauty follows. With polarized lenses that eliminate glare and enhance color, Maui Jim sunglasses won't change the world. They'll change the way you see it. Color, clarity, detail. Maui Jim.
When it comes to catching big bluefin tuna in local waters, Shimano has the gear proven to land the big ones. You already know the hot jig is the Shimano Butterfly Flat Fall Jig, and when you match that with the right tackle system, it makes this great jig even more effective. We suggest you grab a Tranx 500 HG and fill it with 80-pound Power Pro Max Quattro. Max Quattro is 25% thinner, which means 25% more line capacity when you hook that giant. Match your new setup with a Therese 70H and you have the power to put the wood to that big bluefin tuna. The Tranx 500 HG has the cranking power you need. And with the level wind, you concentrate on fishing your Shimano flatball and leave the line control to the Tranx reel. Hundreds of big fish have been caught on the flatball. And when you add the Power Pro Max Quattro Tranx Therese combo, you'll take your fishing to the next level. See your local dealer or check Shimano.com for all the details.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego's sports leader. The home of ESPN Radio. The mighty 1090.
You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel. Quality is the name of the game at Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay. Free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, plus a great fleet. It's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute, Tomahawk, Prowler, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check SeaforthLanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Yamaha Outboard's Say Yes to Reliability sales event is here. For a limited time, purchase an eligible new 2.5 to 115 horsepower four-stroke and get 5 years of warranty protection plus up to $500 in dealer credit. New 150 to 300 horsepower four-strokes get 6 years of warranty protection. Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Visit your local Yamaha dealer today. Offer ends March 31st, 2019, subject to change at any time. Other restrictions and conditions apply. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. This promotion cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.